time.
Fantasy.
Yeah. Time.
It takes a special kind of man to wear an elf suit, and by golly, I'm that man. All right.
This is amazing. TSS Fantasy. This is like an orgasm. If I had a cigarette, I'd smoke it. I'm pumped to be here. This is the show of shows.
It's Commissioner Cooper, and it's time.
How the fuck you got me up this damn early, Jason?
It's time.
I use mayo over sour cream, yeah.
Right. That's because you have high cholesterol. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's Commissioner Cooper. It's time for TSS Fantasy. Welcome in. This is a special playoff round edition. We thought it'd be a fun thing to go ahead and look at a playoff draft live. And we brought in some special guests. Welcome to the studio, from High and Low Sports. Kelsey, welcome, my brother.
What's up? How's it going, man? Happy to be here, and playoff football's here, man. This is exciting.
It is exciting indeed. DJ, my brother, the DJ the Brain. Kelsey, we got to come up with your nickname, but DJ the Brain, welcome to the studio, bro.
Always a pleasure to be here. And we could think of something for him. Instead of the fridge, we can call him the appliance or something like that as well, too. We'll get something on there. Maybe the stove.
At this point, just call me the tummy. Like, I don't know, man. Like, we got better options out there.
I love it. All right, so if you can check us out, if you're checking us out live on YouTube, you can check us out. We have the war room already set up for the draft. Everyone's there, getting prepped, getting ready, basically waiting on my ass to get things started. So why is that? I luckily drew number one pick. Check that out. So they can wait on me any damn way. So don't forget, visit us at tssfantasy.com. You see all of our latest good stuff. We're kind of retooling things with the playoff stuff, so we'll have our brackets and stuff on there as well. Also, don't forget to wake up belly up. Don't forget our boys on with 4th and 4. And I forget the whole lineup right now because a little bit inebriated at the bar, to be quite honest with you. So since it's a little early, we're going to get this thing started. All right, guys, is everybody in the war room ready? Are you guys ready to rumble? All right. So I am first pick. Like I said, the first selection will be Josh Allen. Now, again, this is a draft that goes throughout the playoffs. It's not just a DFS. So I'm looking at Josh Allen as a guy that will go out throughout the playoffs from wild card weekend all the way to the Super Bowl. Hedging my bets on Josh. What you guys think of that?
Yeah, I like it. Look, I think he's probably your biggest favorite for giving you the most fantasy points, along with getting you the furthest in the playoffs. So, not a bad bet for sure.
We've seen the only things that stop Josh Allen are Buffalo winters, basically. So as long as he gets to avoid an incredible windstorm, I think he's going to put up some major points.
Yeah, definitely good option. Definitely good number one.
Tonight's game is going to be really interesting in the elements as well. So I'll be really interested to see how well he performs in the elements tonight. I'm really excited just to see the game. It's fun to see playoff football in the snow too.
Yeah, well, he's 3-1 in games that are under 35 degrees in Buffalo. However, he has four touchdowns to 7 interceptions. So there's some goods and some bads that come with that. But, you got a good chance.
Absolutely. Do we have a number 2 pick yet? Or what? Okay, the second pick in the draft is Pat Mahomes. So he's our next selection to the Fanatics take Pat Mahomes. What you guys think of that selection?
You can't go wrong taking Patrick Mahomes at any point. It feels like as well, too. If you get him, you're good to go. I mean, they're a favorite out of the AFC. You can't go wrong with that one because if nothing else, you have to imagine he'll get you at least 2 playoff games. I mean, the Steelers should be not a cakewalk, but they should get by them.
Let's be honest. The Chiefs has bye week number 2 here of the AFC playoffs against the Steelers this week. This is going to be a warm-up game. Unless Jackson Mahomes can somehow find a way to mess up Patrick, then this is going to be a great pick for Patty.
Yeah, I like them too. If it's not Buffalo, it's definitely KC, and they're going to get on. They're getting hot when it matters. We know what KC does. They put up big points always, so not a bad selection at all. Number 3, we got Marvelous. Do you have your selection, sir? Oh, I'm sorry. Who is that? The third selection, sorry, I was going to try to type it in first before I said it, is Aaron Rodgers. He goes to the Hulks, if you will, here. Aaron Rodgers for the third selection. Now, you don't get him for wild card weekend, but possibly all the way through. What do you guys think of that selection?
Bold strategy, Cotton. Going without a wild card quarterback. Well, you maybe can get one later on, but your first round and you're wasting it on a guy who's not even going to be playing in round one in the first round. You might not make it to the wild card beyond the wild card. So that's a bold strategy.
If you do get to the wild card, though, you got the guy who's going to put up an incredible amount of points. He's going to be playing the lowest seed that comes out, too. It's the way the bracket plays off. So he might be playing a team that has no business being in the playoffs or a team that's kind of limping through. So I don't mind the strategy, but hopefully you have a backup plan for week 1 or someone that could kind of fill it. But you can't really go wrong with picking Aaron Rodgers either. The same as Patrick Mahomes at this point.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see what he does.
Good old my buddy, as Flanders likes to call him, Karen Rodgers. That's all Flanders got. I don't know why he hates on him so much. Neckbreakers, you're next. Do you have your selection? He is going with Marvelous Tom Brady with avocado shakes and all. Listen, I got something to say about this. This is my. On my show, this was my upset special. I think Philly's going to take out Tampa this week. And the reason I think so is that all of a sudden now with the elements, 18-mile-an-hour winds, torrential rains coming in off the coast, that eliminates Tom Brady. If you looked at the last game they played, Jalen Hurts he had nothing in the air pretty much, but he ran, I think it was like 60 yards, but he got 2 touchdowns. So again, in the elements, spread them out a little bit, let Jalen run around. I like Eagles in the upset. What do you guys think about the pick?
Honestly, if I'm going to take a Buccaneer first round, I was looking at playoff Lenny for a lot of those same situations you had as well, too. And running backs are a little harder to come by in this playoff. So I would have went with Lombardi Lenny if I'm taking a Buccaneer in round 1. If it's just because you mentioned the elements, too. The Eagles, not the best run defense, but they are opportunistic. And if Tom Brady slips up a little bit, missing a couple of receivers now, I don't know. You can't. I'm never going to criticize someone taking Tom Brady, but I don't know if he'd be the first buck off of my board.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of in the same page. You're going to get one great half out of Tom Brady. Depending on whether it comes in the first or second half is a whole different story, but he's going to give you one good half. That's just the Tom Brady we've gotten to know the last couple of seasons. You haven't really seen a full Brady, and on top of that, you mentioned the weather. That's going to be huge. Granted, we're talking about a guy who's played in snowfall his whole career, so we'll see. A little rain has never affected a man that plays in heavy snow his whole career, so we'll see what he's able to do. But I don't know. I'm a little torn on this one. I would have let this one go a little bit longer.
Pick is in.
The pick is in. Eric, who do you have, my friend? The Jets. Joe Burrow. All right, he's betting on the Bengals to go far in this playoff, which is not a bad bet at all. What do you guys think of Joe Burrow as the next selection?
If the Bengals are going to win today, that's a fantastic pick. So they're going to win like 35-7. They're going to win it. It's going to be an absolute flood. But if it's a close game, I think that's going to be a one and done. I think anything that's close, the Raiders will pull it off. They've shown the ability to do that. So hopefully for his sake, the Bengals come out 21-0 and the game's basically over right away. So then Joe Burrow will be able to flood and get you a couple of high-quality weeks. Because when he's cooking in must-win games, going back to his college career, and this year he's like 6-0 with 27 touchdowns. So, I mean, you can't really go wrong with Joe Burrow. But hopefully for his sake, it's a flood today.
Yeah, no, it's going to have to be because you're looking at this Raiders defense, man. They can get after it, and this is the one I look at the most as I'm like the most torn matchup of the entire wild card between the Bengals and Raiders, just because the Raiders can get after a quarterback, and let's be honest, the Bengals don't have the best fast blocking to protect Joe Burrow, but if Burrow gets enough time to get it to Jamar and to get it to T. Higgins, this is a fantastic pick.
Awesome. All right, next pick is in for who we got here? Who's up? Mark the Goats. Who do you have, my friend? Matt Stafford betting on a long run for the Rams. Notice here we have a big quarterback run here in this particular playoff draft. This is not how a regular draft would go. That's for dang sure. But I like Matt Stafford. I mean, the Rams, they're high potent offense. I definitely like this game tonight, on Monday. I think that's the fantasy extravaganza of the weekend. Last two games, I think they've combined 144 points together. So if you're looking for DFS guys, somebody, maybe I should be quiet about that. We'll go on to that later. I like him today, actually. But again, I like anyone in that matchup. Guys, what do you think about Matt Stafford?
Oh, he carried me through the regular season. I love Matt Stafford. He actually carried me over Kyler Murray, who was my number 1 pick. So I got to say, though, I'm still surprised we haven't seen a running back come off the board yet. I love Matt Stafford. I love what he can do, but I'm waiting on that first running back to come off the board here.
It depends. If we get first half of the season Matthew Stafford, that person might win the whole thing. If we get second half of the season Matthew Stafford, this might be a short run as well. So as long as he can reel back some of those reckless picks he's been throwing, I think it would be a great pick. So it's the biggest game of his life, arguably, coming up. So we'll see.
Nice. Carlos, up. The pick is in. Oh, we got sound effects and everything. All right, what do we got? For Pete, Derrick Henry, taken by Pete Metal Koza Art. He is taking the king, Derrick Henry. I guess, again, of course, you're going to see the Titans, and hopefully in a long run, I'm assuming. But taking a big risk, I think, with Derrick Henry coming off the injury. What do you guys think of the selection?
If he's 87% of normal Derrick Henry, this is an incredible pick. You got the best running back in the game, or like the best running back in the playoffs. If he's still dinged up, he's a little slow coming in. If they lean more on Tannehill, hopefully you get another running back or something like that. Hopefully you get a quarterback in the second round to fill up some of that spot. But I like the balls on this pick, but I think it might be a little bit early.
This is kind of what I was waiting on. I was waiting on somebody to take the Derrick Henry a little too early thing, because we're not going to see him in the wild card. So this is going to be hoping that we get a fully healthy Derrick Henry in the second round.
Indeed. All right, we got the first pick in round 2 coming up. What do we got? Pete Mello, Koza Art, round 2. Travis Kelsey going big time with a big time tight end who is set probably to make a long run. Good selection to start off round 2. What do you guys think of Travis Kelsey to start things off?
I love me some Travis Kelsey, but I'm surprised to see a tight end go before any receivers as well, too. That was kind of surprised to see. But Travis Kelsey, that's quite the combo you got there. Derrick Henry and Travis Kelsey back to back. So maybe Kelsey carries you through week 1, and then Derrick Henry carries you the rest of the way. So I don't mind this pick. I like it. He's expected to get some burn against the Steelers.
Yeah, look, I love this pick. He's gonna be a guy that's gonna get you get you everything. I mean, yards, touchdowns, everything like that. So be sure, it's definitely not a bad pick. But again, yeah, DJ, I'm with you. No receivers off the board yet, and we've seen Travis Kelsey. Granted, he is just as good as a receiver, just not this year.
Indeed. All right, let's see. Is the next selection in? This is great. Love it. All right, what's our next selection for the GOATs? Cooper Kupp Koopa. Love that selection. I mean, what a great year he's had. The funny thing is, I talked about it before. In this particular draft with these same fellas, I had Amari Cooper, and then I had a chance later to get Cooper Kupp, and I'm like, that's just too much Cooper for me, even with my last name Cooper. Thought it was just going to be a little too much, and now, man, I certainly did regret that. All right, what do you guys think of Cooper Kupp as a selection?
If they get past round 1, this is brilliant, and that person's just had an absolute steal as well, too. He's playing like he's back at Eastern Washington these days. So if they get past that round 1, which is the big question, linking him back to Stafford, this team could be dangerous going down the stretch. I'm more concerned about their first game than I am the rest of their playoff game. So I like this pick.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think we just saw a double up right there. If he got Stafford in round 1, Cooper Kupp here in round 2.
Yep,
so.
That's correct. Good call. You got the combo. So that's
riding up on this. Let's hope the Rams win train.
Next selection is, that's true too. Next selection is in. It is, what do we got? We got the Jets. Who do we got, bro? Devonte Adams, the next selection. Nice selection as well. Devonte Adams having a great season. Every time we were doing the fantasy show, it was basically all we were talking about was Cooper Kupp, Devo Samuel, and Devonte Adams. Those were the 3 main players, all in the NFC, doing great things all year. What do you guys think of selection?
Devonte, it's a good pick again, but this is one Now you have to wait yet another round to be able to use him. So how good is it really going to be if you can't win your first matchup?
As long as they don't go against Tampa Bay, Devonte Adams is going to cook most of these secondaries anyway as well too. So if you get past that first round, Devonte Adams is another guy who could help carry you along the back stretch of it as well too. So just don't, as long as you don't have to deal with Tampa Bay, because they made life rough for him in last year's playoffs.
Yeah, betting on a lot of points when you're not getting any points in the first round, that's for sure. All right, who we got? Neck breakers are up. Is your next selection in, sir? Tyreek Hill. Selection out of Kansas City. Again, we expect the Chiefs to make a big run like always, so not a bad selection at all. Guys, what do you think of Tyreek Hill?
Look, we talked about the Steelers are basically a bye this week. You could have Tyreek Hill just lighting it up over the top. This is a great pick. This is easy money for me.
I'm surprised Tyreek Hill lasted this long, considering he's not just the big play guy this year. He's been getting a lot of receptions as well this year. He's not just the 70-yard touchdown. He's been getting a lot of intermediate work as well. So I'm really surprised he lasted this long. That might be, I don't want to say steal the second round, but steal the second round so far. Getting him as the receiver 4, receiver 3. That's quite the pick.
I think that's where you were going when you said I was surprised the tight end went first. I knew kind of where you were heading there. I was with you, reading you. All right, marvelous. The Hulks are up, sir. Your next selection. He's gonna go Stephon Diggs. He's got to give me riddles, as he tells me. Well, I ain't got enough going on. And he says, "Here, let me give you a secret name to name this player." So Stephon Diggs, again, Buffalo expecting a long run in the playoffs. So I definitely like the selection. I was kind of hoping he was going to get to me and I could have the combo, but that didn't happen. So what do you guys think of Stephon Diggs?
Love Stephon Diggs. Round 1, I'm a little nervous because of the Patriots. They've been locked in on this year. J.C. Jackson. They've been playing a lot of man-to-man, and the Bills have been toasting it, but not with Stephon Diggs because Stephon Diggs takes all the attention. So it's another one. Past round 1, I love him. Round 1, I'm a little nervous, just a little bit. I say that and he's going to get 2 touchdowns now, but I'm always a little bit shaky.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Stephon Diggs, but that stat with Josh Allen in the first round is a little bit terrifying. So.
All right, the next selection is in, and he's going back-to-back quarterbacks. It's Dak Prescott as his next selection. That was a little surprising. I'm a little surprised with the strategy, to be quite frank, but maybe he's trying to drown everybody out, thinking a quarterback's not going to last that long. So, yeah, Dak Prescott there. Again, surprising back-to-back QBs. What do you guys think of that selection?
Again, this goes under the category of bold strategy here, Cotton. You're still begging a lot for get to the second round, use Aaron Rodgers, but Dak Prescott in the first round in a potential washout. I don't know. This is again, any other competition they were going against. I like Dak Prescott, but Dak Prescott against the Niners, I don't know. I just don't trust him right now.
Weirdly enough, in all of Dak's playoff games, he's managed to put up a lot of fantasy points. Even when they lose as well, too, he has that. We used to joke about empty calorie numbers. He is the king at getting those. So he has a weird ability to get points. So for fantasy purposes, this might be a really good pick to get you through round 1.
Yeah. All right. I love that I got a crew here with me now. They're ready. They got the sound effects. We're ready to go. I am up on the board. I am going to take with my next selection, Jamar Chase, receiver out of Cincinnati. I called him earlier in the summer as the guy to grab, as he will definitely be a top 10 receiver this year. And again, I do expect the Bengals to win this week and possibly maybe upset KC like they did. I think it's just going to be who has the ball last, really, like they did last time. What do you guys think of my selection? Don't forget, you're on my show.
Oh, in that case, brilliant. Absolutely. Best pick of the draft. You can't go wrong. But once again, if they get by today, I think it's an absolutely brilliant pick. And if they're able to flood the Raiders, I think he's going to get you points whether it's close or not. I mean, he can't really – the Raiders aren't going to contain him. The Chiefs aren't going to contain him. The defenses that are going to contain him, they won't have to worry about for a while. So that's a good pick, whether they advance or not.
Yeah, and that's just it. Like, I don't think there's really a corner out there that's going to man up one-on-one with Jamar Chase. If you had taken T. Higgins, I would have had questions. But Jamar Chase, I like going for the big bucks here. You're gonna get a lot of big play opportunities with him today, at least this week. Not even counting what they face next week.
All right, so I talked about them getting upset, but just in case they don't, I'm gonna go my next selection, Leonard Fournette, running back – out of Tampa Bay. In case Tampa has a long run, my backfield anyway. So that's my bad. So Leonard Fournette, first pick for me out of the 3rd round. What do you guys think of Leonard Fournette?
Playoff Lenny. There's the argument. Like, that's all you need. That's a perfect pick. That perfect pick to go with Josh Allen and Jamar Chase as well too. Like, you're set. You got your trio. You're good.
Yeah, I mean, you needed a big running back to take a lot of the burn, and you got him right there. Four tutty Lenny, never a bad option. If they make it, look, at this point in time, we've come up with 6 nicknames for him. If you have a T-shirt made for each one of these nicknames, like you're doing something pretty good for yourself, and you don't even have to worry about him splitting time with Ronald Jones because he's probably going to be out this week, if not next as well.
Indeed. All right, next pick is in with Craig, the Fanatics. Who do you got for your next selection? The Gronkster, Rob Gronkowski, going against this matchup again. Now, we talked about the elements, but Gronk, you don't have to throw far to for him to make something happen. In the elements, might have a decent game, and talk about the Eagles dead last against fantasy tight ends, or against the tight end position, quite frankly. All right, what do you guys think of the selection?
I kind of like it as well, too, considering you don't have as many weapons in Tampa Bay with no AB because AB is going to AB, no Chris Godwin as well, too. You're right. They're going to start going more multiple tight ends to run the ball and throw to Gronkowski. It's playoff time, and Brady to Gronkowski is as good as it gets.
That's just it. The playoff aim for Gronkowski is where he makes his money. You know, we joke about the red zone being renamed the money zone. The playoffs might as well be renamed Gronk off. So I mean, like, he makes his money in the playoffs. He does his best work in the playoffs. It's easy picks.
On top of the fact, you know, with the injuries in the receiving core for the Bucks, makes him a great pick that round. Sorry, go ahead. Marvelous. I see you sucking in the gut over there on the screen. Who do you got for your next selection? Aaron Jones. I actually said the whole name this time. Aaron Jones is the next selection for round 3. I know, thank God, because then I have to decipher who you're picking. Aaron Jones selection out of Green Bay. You know, again, decent running back. It's playoff time. He usually does well in the playoffs as well. What do you guys think of that selection?
I think there's better running backs he could have gotten that get him a lot more burn here in the wild card round. If I'm being fair, I don't hate it for the next round. You got to get there though. This is again, this is a lot of points that you're hoping for beyond this round, but you got to get there first, and that's where the question is it going to be worth wasting this early of a pick on somebody who could be playing in wild card weekend?
So it worries me a little bit because it's very boomer bust. Either he's going to get you 30 points and score 3 touchdowns and 2 through the air, or A.J. Dillon's going to take all the burn and Aaron Jones is going to be kind of left out to dry. So that's what kind of concerns me a little bit with Aaron Jones. I like him as a flex type of guy, but if he gets you the boom, you're going to go far. I'm scared about the bust.
Yeah, I agree. Again, it's getting colder. We've talked about Captain Thunder Thighs before. He definitely can take over a game and take away the carries from Aaron Jones.
Exactly. And then they're going to throw it to Devonte a lot too. So,
yeah, absolutely. All right, our next selection is in. Who do we got here up next? The Jets, I believe. Who we got? Oh, my bad. Neck breakers. Who we got for your next selection? Mike Evans, receiver out of Tampa. For Mike Evans, again, with the receivers, pretty much everyone decimated. Mike Evans, lone man standing. Tom Brady's going to be number one target other than Gronk. What do you guys think in the next selection?
How many targets is he going to get? This goes back to the weather thing again. This first round is going to be tough. You're going to be kind of hoping on some easy fade routes in the end zone, and hopefully he doesn't drop them in the end zone again. And that's a bigger issue there. But beyond this first round, great pick for later in the playoffs if they make it that far. Again, this was one. There's probably a few better receivers that are out there that'll be playing wild card weekend that you know are playing in good weather situations, but not a bad pick overall.
I think he's a guy that'll pay more dividends later on as they go. You got Darius Slay in the first round as well too, and then all those other weapons. So down the line, I think he'll be more worth value.
Yeah. Indeed. All right, next selection in Jets. Who you got? Joe in the mixing. Again, the last time he played the Raiders, you talked about it being if it was going to be a hit or miss. They blew out the Raiders, and Joe Mixon went the hell off that game. Probably his best game this season. So not a bad selection, especially for this first round. Indeed. What do you guys think of that?
think you hit the nail right on the head as well, too. The Raiders aren't exactly the most running backs stopping team, if you will. Like, they're a little bit inept against running backs. Austin Eckler, even the games they win, Austin Eckler, Jonathan Taylor both got theirs, and you have to imagine Joe Mixon is going to get his as well, too, this week, and possibly more if they win.
Yeah, probably the most diverse back that you could get in the playoffs. And on top of that, he finished top 5 in rushing. So not a bad situation to be picking up Joe Mixon here in the 3rd round. And at any point in time, he can get it through the air, get it on the ground, and it's a matter of what the Bengals need him to do.
Our next selection is in. I believe we're about to see our first Niner go off the board, but we'll see. What's your next selection for the Goats? Devo Samuel. How did I just feel it coming? Devo Samuel, again, man, what a great year he's had. I was talking about him earlier. I didn't have a lot of respect for him going into the season, but man, I was proven dead wrong. What a great season he's had. What do you guys think of Devo as this next selection?
I'm surprised he slipped this far, honestly, as well, too, considering what he did this season, the versatility it provides, everything he does. I know a lot of people think they're going to get bounced in the 1st round, but what he would do in that 1st round alone will get you to round 2, and you could play off of that. So I'm surprised he made it to the end of the 3rd round. So a bit of a steal there for the Goats.
Let's not forget, he's going up against the only corner to give up over 1,000 yards in primary coverage in over 20 years, and that's Trayvon Diggs. So that's if he's not going to be matched up out of the backfield against a linebacker who's definitely not going to be able to cover him. Look, the Niners are a problem. Devo Samuel is a problem. And if they're able to beat the Cowboys, don't be surprised if the Niners make a long run led by Devo Samuel. And it's going to be – that dude's going to put up points whether it's a win or loss this 1st round. So at least you're going to get your money's worth right now.
Awesome. All right. Pete Metal Koza Art, his next selection is in. Who we got? Dak Prescott's already been selected, which is dumb. It's a joke. Actually, you know what? I got something perfect. Where is it? Hold on. I got something perfect. I totally forgot. Where is it? Hold on. It's on here somewhere. Oh, here it is. This is for Carlos right here.
Dumbass. Thank these. Dumbass.
Could have at least given me a bigger leg.
All right, so who do we got? Who do we got for your first selection? Who was it? AJ Brown instead of Dak Prescott. There we go. All right. I mean, this is not like a huge draft here. We should know that Dak Prescott's off the fucking board already. Jesus, please. All right. Well, geez, you got to let us. You can't even let us analyze A.J. Brown. All right. So Aaron Rodgers is also off the board. So back to back, we went A.J. Brown and Aaron Rodgers. What do you guys think of those selections? Oh, somebody's already. I told you I had too much going on. And you messing with me. Kyler Murray. That's what it was. Stop messing with me, please. All right. Kyler Murray. The next selection in round 4. So Murray, A.J. Brown. What do you guys think of the back-to-back picks?
Like the Kyler Murray one. A little bit iffy with the touchdown A.J. Brown one because it literally has to be touchdown A.J. Brown or he's a little bit limited. And with Derrick Henry, Julio Jones getting healthy, I'm worried he won't give you as much bang for your buck, but I do like the Kyler Murray pick. I think he's going to go off regardless of how many games he plays.
Yeah. I mean, for A.J. Brown, of the picks you could get of guys that will be sitting this week and playing next week, probably not the highest on my list of guys I'd like to reach for A.J. Brown. I would have liked some other guys off the board first, but maybe he booms for you in the playoffs in the next round. We'll see. But I do love the Kyler pick. You're gonna need him to go off this week against the Rams if they're gonna win, and that team rides and dies by Kyler. So you're gonna get fantasy points if they succeed. That's the biggest thing.
Indeed. All right, Goats, you're up. You got your next selection, sir. This is our first dead air time. Thanks to Mark.
I'll just go and add on that Kyler Murray thing. When he's played the Rams this year, he's gone absolutely ballistic in both games as well, too. I mean, he scored north of 20 points both times, so I don't see why 3rd time wouldn't be the charm. So Kyler Murray's probably going to be guaranteed north of 20, whether it's with his little Mr. Krabs legs running 1,000 miles an hour or if he's unleashing bombs down the field.
The next selection was finally made by the Goats. It is Ryan Tannehill. Tanny was the new Danny down in Miami. Unfortunately not. He is with the Titans. Next selection. What do you guys think of that?
You just doubled up on guys that aren't playing this week. And again, I'm going to say it again. Like, that's a lot of risk to put into a playoff draft pick here. You got two guys, your quarterback and a receiver, that won't be playing in the wild card round.
There's probably 3 other quarterbacks still left out to lean towards instead, but I mean, who knows? At least you guarantee you'll have a quarterback next week. So I guess you have that if you have another guy to fill it this week and get you there. So I guess there is that. But
will you be playing next week?
That is the question. You got to get there, but if you get there, you're ready to go.
Yeah. All right, next selection for the Jets, Devin Singletary, the running back out of Buffalo. Again, deep run possibly for the Bills, so this could be a good guy to have, and they've been leaning on him as of late, finally establishing the run. I was talking about this last night, though. I find it interesting going into this matchup tonight, as Belichick, he wants to take out your best weapon. It's obvious you can't take out Josh Allen, but does he game plan to take out Devin Singletary? Because that's what's made this Buffalo team go. So it'd be interesting to see if that's what happens and see if he makes Allen beat him in the elements. But anyway, what do you guys think of the matchup?
I kind of like it, actually. The last time these two teams played, and when it wasn't ridiculous windstorm strong enough to rip an elephant's face off, Devin Singletary got loose in the passing game as well, too, because Josh Allen actually was checked down Josh when needed to be, and I think that's where Singletary can find a lot of value in this game. Make Belichick come down it, stop Devin Singletary, then Stephon Diggs will get loose, and I don't think he's willing to let Stephon Diggs get loose.
Yeah, no, I think Devin Singletary is a guy that, if honestly, for the Bills to work, he has to get you at least 60. In whether that's through the ground or in the air. And so I do think that's a big plus here. If you're trying to get fantasy points out of it, you need him to go if the Bills are going to win. And I think DJ's exactly right. I think we're going to see a lot of Devin Singletary in the passing game where he provides the most value against this Patriots team who has no matchup for him in that secondary that he'll be matched up with.
All right, put Devin McCourty in the box, but good luck with that.
Yeah, the former corner Devin McCourty.
Neck breakers are up. What do you got, brother? T. Higgins. I heard that name earlier. You guys brought him up. I mean, he's one of those guys that I also disrespected all year, but I think I had reason to because it's just like he showed up some games. I mean, again, with Jamar there, you got Tyler Boyd. There's a lot of weapons to go around there. But, T. Higgins is a great athlete and has showed up big in certain games. So what do you guys think of the pick?
I love T. Higgins. Look, first of all, this is a guy that if you guys are running PPR rules here, you just hit this one out of the park. He is going to get so many opportunities to make catches and in big positions. He is their third down go-to guy. Him and Joe Burrow's just their maneuverability together is fantastic. So this is one that's a sneaky good pick for sure.
I like him a lot, but I think there's some other guys on the board that maybe will be coming off here next. I'd have leaned a little more toward instead.
There's one in particular I'm thinking of that I'm waiting to come off the board right now.
Marvelous. You are up, sir. Who do you got? Elijah Mitchell is I guess the Niner fans down there in the end are starting to make a Niner run. Eli Mitchell in the next selection. Guys, what do you think of the matchup?
Pretty much going to be the only other guy for the Niners scoring any points is Elijah Mitchell. If you have any hope of the Niners beating the Cowboys, and it's not a bad pick by any means. This one I worry a little too much about it being a 1 week and done type of a player. Like I don't know how much he's going to be worth in anything beyond this wild card round.
Cowboys have been really good defensively. Run defense, not quite as much of their strong suit. So I think Elijah Mitchell can get a little bit loose this week, and he might be enough to get you to that next round if he's a 1 week wonder.
Yeah. Indeed. All right, the Fanatics, you are up, my friend. What is your next selection? Oh, God, he's that guy? Don't be this guy at a playoff fantasy draft. This is the first time, by the way, Craig has won a play. I decided to bring this up. This guy, he taught me how to play fantasy football almost about 30 years ago, and this guy's never won until this season. So congratulations, Craig. And Marvell, you have a lot to say, so if you ever want to come over here on the camera, please feel free. Craig, who you got on your next selection?
Somebody throw the flag.
Gabriel Davis. There we go. He pooped it out. Gabriel Davis. Is there good selection there? The receiver out of Buffalo. Guys, what do you think the selection of Gabriel Davis?
I'm gonna have to change his name to Mr. Inspector Gadget, but because he had quite the reach on that one. I don't think any normal arms are gonna go for him. I think that one might be a little bit. That's a little bit early. There's a lot of other receivers I'd be leaning towards. There's even others on. I don't know about that one. It may be a little early for me.
I was gonna throw the flag for delay a game, but I gotta throw the flag for the reach of the draft already. Like there are a lot of receivers that I take before Gabriel Davis.
Listen, the funny thing is, I wish I had you on speaker for him to hear that. I mean, he basically said you were Inspector Gadget for that reach right there is what we just heard. So, wow, that was great. Great line, DJ. I wish, the speaker thing, I got to figure that out. All right, I'm up. The commission's up, and I'm going to go with talking about him earlier. No, you know what? I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go with I'm going to go running back, but, there's three. Like you guys said, there's a lot of good receivers there. All right, you know what? I am going to go receiver. I'm going to take receiver CeeDee Lamb. That's going to be my number 2 receiver. I like Mr. CeeDee Lamb, and I like Dak in that offense. I had Amari Cooper this year, and quite frankly, it just he was up and down. CeeDee Lamb seemed to be the more consistent guy, and against PPR, I like CeeDee Lamb. Well, again, I selected him. What do you guys think of my selection?
I don't know who in the 49ers secondary is going to match up with, but him and Amari's. And Amari's probably going to get more of the coverage leaning towards him. So I like the pick because I think this one's going to be a little bit of a shootout, like an unconventional shootout. Like the Cowboys will score quickly, the Niners will take their time, but it'll be very back and forth. And I think CeeDee will take a lot of the benefits from that.
Yeah, I mean, you get a lot of boom opportunity with CeeDee, but at the same time, you get the consistent burn from him because he's going to catch all these little quick screen passes, and he's going to be trying to make them into 10, 15-yard gains. He might only get you 7 each one, but that's 8 points right there each time that's what, a point and a half each time he takes one of those for a first down, and you can't beat that at all. And then on top of that, you get the boom potential as well on the seam routes he runs. Yeah, it's not a bad option.
Those seam routes get me nervous because Dak just throws them up in the seam and gets CeeDee almost decapitated or snapped in half entirely too often. CeeDee is a very thin guy, and the amount of times I've seen his entire body snap like a rubber band worries me a little bit, but he keeps getting up, so I do like the pick.
Hey, as long as he stays healthy, that's all that matters for Cowboys fans and for the fantasy team here for the commish.
All right, my next selection is in for first pick in round 5. I'm going to solidify my late run and go running back A.J. Dillon. We talked about Thunder Thighs a minute ago. I like him as it gets cold to dominate later on into the playoffs. So my selection, A.J. Dillon. What do you guys think of the pick?
Yeah, he's going to get I think he's going to get your touchdown, your end zone carries here when they're inside the 10. This is going to be one that they're going to first, second down, A.J. Dillon up the middle. Third down, you're going to get Aaron Jones checking in to run a little dump-off pattern. But, I mean, even with that said, A.J. Dillon's been getting involved in the passing game as of late in the regular season. So you're going to get multiple options for getting him involved. And I think it's going to be one that you don't have to worry about him in this first round, at least with the way, you're set up. So that second round is going to be a boom situation. It's going to be very, very positive for your team.
I was surprised A.J. Dillon's still this far. He's going to get a lot of touchdowns. And if they play Tampa Bay, look for him to be the guy they try and punch Tampa Bay in the mouth, which is their answer back.
All right, the next selection is in from the Fanatics. The we'll change the name, like you said, to the Inspector Gadgets. Reaching again for Allen Lazard in round 5. Well, what do you guys think of Allen Lazard?
Staying true to the name. That's all I got for now.
I got nothing for this one. This is a scratch my head pick, and not in a good way. What is he drinking right now? Because whatever it is, I guess I need some.
Listen, after 30 years, you haven't won anything, and then you finally win something, like you got to feel a little bold in your picks. And I think that's kind of where Craig's going. He's feeling a little bold, and, he's got little guys he likes, and, Lazard's that guy. So, you never know.
Inspector Gadgets, but, just Cotton, bold move Cotton. Just that could be his, tagline for the rest of the playoffs.
You guys could correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think a single Raider's been taking this whole draft either. Maybe that changes here, but I'm curious.
I'm scratching my head on that one still.
All right, next, Dr. Claw. Next, Hulks, what you got? Here he goes with the anatomy, but at least I knew this one. George Kittle is the next selection coming off the board. Not a bad selection. I'm not, again, we talked about them maybe getting bounced today. So it won't be such a good selection if they do get bounced. But what do you guys think of selection?
I like it for now, too. I think because Micah Parsons is your best answer for him, and they're going to use him as a pass rusher probably a lot more often. So I think George Kittle could be very effective for you this week. And if they do get to advance, look out for him to be a threat down the way. So pretty good pick in this spot.
The only thing I worry about with this is the fact that Devo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk have been doing so well that now you're going against this Cowboys pass rush that you might have to stick Kittle in with the pass rush, and you lose half of his plays that he'd be running routes. So it's maybe not the best tight end available, but I do think if he's able to actually go out into patterns, I think it's going to be a very good pick.
Indeed. All right, guys, let's go with the neck breakers. They're up, and we got our next selection in. Terrell Williams is our next selection with Clyde Edwards-Helaire on the men with the shoulder injury. He'll be starting today at least, and we'll see going forward. What do you guys think of the selection here?
I don't know. Not a bad pick by any means. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been rumored to possibly coming in and playing today as well. So if he splits time with Williams, that worries me long-term with Williams, especially if he splits time in wild card week with the Steelers. That means he's going to play major time the next week for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So Williams might really only be good for wild card weekend, to be fair.
I feel like they're going to throw all over the Steelers defense as well, too. And I think Gore's going to come in and get a lot of those burns at running back. So he might be all right. He might be a surprise pick, but I don't, hopefully not all your eggs are in that basket particularly, but not a bad pick. We're around 5. So at this point you can maybe reach a little bit.
Next selection is in for the Jets. Amari Cooper. All right, we're just talking about that offense with the Cowboys. Going to take the other side of the football there. So I like Amari Cooper with that selection there. Guys, what do you think of Amari Cooper as the next selection?
A little bit boomer bust for me. You mentioned his regular season experience just kind of all over the place. That seems to be pretty similar to just everything I've noticed as a Cowboys fan as well. He doesn't fully get involved in the offense every week, and that does kind of worry you. CeeDee Lamb has been that number one target. Michael Gallup has been fantastic. You talk about the tight ends when they're involved. Amari Cooper kind of falls down the pecking order. So
I don't see anybody stopping that they're going to face necessarily until maybe the Packers. So I think even the empty calorie yards that Dak is a specialist at in the playoffs as well too. If they fall behind, I think him and CeeDee Lamb both get the feast, and they both count as fantasy points regardless.
That's fair. I mean, we'll see. He has this knack of getting open. It's just whether Dak looks back his way. So Dak has a tendency he'll look CD, he'll look Amari, and then he'll look back CD and not go reverse order. And that's the worry part.
Indeed. All right, the GOATs are up. GOATs, you have your next selection in. Sony Michel, the next selection, running back for the big-powered Rams. What do you guys think of that? Now, don't forget, this is the same guy who has Stafford and Cooper Kupp, so he is all in on the Rams offense. What do you guys think?
Is he going to take Cam Akers next, too? I mean, let's just load up on this team right now. I like Sony Michel a lot. I'm just worried with Cam Akers somehow defying science and coming back healthy. Maybe he takes a little bit of that burn away from Sony Michel. But if the Rams go far, he's good to go.
But I'm expecting his next two picks to be Matt Gay and the defense for the Rams. So that seems to be the next two logical steps for him, or OBJ potentially. But I don't know. I think there's a couple running backs I'd rather take over Sony Michel, especially wild card weekend wise, even if it's only for one weekend.
Agreed. All right, next selection is in for Metal Cozart. Ezekiel Elliott. Speaking of other running backs, I was waiting for that one. I was actually going to take him, but since I already had CeeDee Lamb, I didn't really want the two there, so I didn't end up taking him. Surprised he fell this far. What do you guys think of Zeke?
I think there's another Cowboys running back I might have taken here instead, personally. But I think Zeke will be able to get you some touchdowns. I think they might advance. So not a bad pick at this point.
Yeah, he's going to get you red zone touches, but how successful he's been this season makes me a little bit worried that I think DJ's right. I think there's the other running back here for the Cowboys that might be a better option than Tony Pollard over Zeke, and that's just because of what you've seen so far from Zeke this season. It's not been consistent enough.
Absolutely. All right, Pete, you got your next one in. Metal Cozart. Are you ready for back-to-backs? Tyler Boyd is the first selection in round 6. Waiting for him to come off the board as well. Guys, what do you guys think of Tyler Boyd as the first selection in round 6?
If the Bengals win this week, I like them a lot against some of those other teams like the Bills, if they play the Patriots, or if they play the Chiefs, the Titans. Like any of those teams, I like them a lot more. This week, I think it's gonna be the Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon's show. So I don't mind the pick. I think he'll be more valuable down the stretch if the Bengals get out of week 1.
Yeah. Truthfully, there's two other players I would have taken on the opposite side of this matchup before I would have taken Tyler Boyd at receiver, and definitely there's another couple position players I'd have taken already before Tyler Boyd. But I think this is one that I think DJ's right. If he's going to provide any value, it's not going to be this round. It will be later on, just as that third opportunity, and that's hoping CJ Uzomah doesn't get involved. And I think there's better options out there than Tyler Boyd for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't have a sheet in front of me, so I don't even know to speculate who. He keeps passing over when it's my turn that I gotta find, but I'm sure there are some.
There's a whole team full of them right now that haven't been touched right at this point.
There's one team that hasn't even been touched yet, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Indeed. All right, Ned, the pick is in. Who we got? Damian Harris, running back out of New England. Man, if they advance, this is going to be a great steal because Damien Harris, they love to run the pill, and he's been running it hard there in New England this year. What do you guys think of the selection?
You hit it on the head. If they advance, that might be the best pick of the draft so far. If they can get out of this first round, they did good against the Bills the first time they played in the deathly elements. Damien Harris still almost had 100 yards on like 7 damn carries. It felt like before he got hurt. So I like this one, especially if they get out of this round against the Bills, because not a whole lot of run defenses in the AFC.
Yeah, look, despite the Bills' vaunted run defense, they've still given up a lot of yards to powerful runners. And Damien Harris is a power runner, and he goes right up the middle. And I mean, like at this point in time, the weather's going to be an issue. You're going to be handing the rock off a lot. Just in the wild card round, I love this pick, but exactly, you guys both are right. If this goes beyond the wild card round for the Patriots, this is a huge pick.
Indeed. Jets, you're in. What you got for your selection? Najee Harris. There's a big running back going way late just due to the whooping they think they're going to get taken today. Guys, what do you think of that selection?
I want to copy and paste the Damian Harris argument. If they somehow get past the Chiefs, Najee Harris is about to be the MVP of this playoff run by all means. So if they get past it, this is absolutely brilliant. But I share the same concerns. I think they're in trouble for this first week, and I think the Chiefs defense will basically Ben, throw it over 6 yards if you can. I think they're going to put everything in the box to stop Najee Harris. But we'll see.
Here's what's crazy. Even if teams are still doing that to Najee Harris has still been giving you close to 100 yards and a touchdown. So I still think this is one of those situations where you're going to get a lot of points out of him, kind of like Devo Samuel. You're going to get a lot of points this week. You're not expecting him to really last until beyond this week, but for your wild card picks, absolutely a great pick for a wild card round. But obviously worry about the next round. But if somehow the Steelers manage to pull their way out of this one, Najee Harris for MVP for the playoffs.
Indeed. All right, guys, our next selection hopefully is in because we're not even halfway through this one. Let's get it. Well, we pick up the pace a little over here. All right, neck breakers are up so far. Looking at, I can kind of scroll through back real quick, see who they've selected back. They've got Terrell Williams. He's got, let's go around one and work my way down here. So neckbreakers have Tom Brady, Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans. So he's got 2 good receivers, good quarterback. And he's got T. Higgins, so 3 good receivers. And then Darren Williams. So that's where we're at for the neckbreaker squad. Let's see where he goes here. Maybe tight end. Could be. I'm speculating.
There's a really good tight end that is sitting there on a team that has not been touched yet.
And
back on that team too.
Josh Jacobs.
There's the running back
selection. There he is indeed. Let me find. Again, I think the concern though is how long are the Raiders going to last? Into the playoffs. But this is a decent matchup. Although I shouldn't say decent matchup. The last time they played, Josh Jacobs was pretty much shut down. But again, that was earlier in the season. Could be a different tell today. What do you guys think of the selection?
I think Josh Jacobs will be good for that first round because I think he'll get you at least a touchdown and a couple of those checkdowns as well, too. So I think it won't be as bad as their first matchup because Jacobs has gotten pretty decently loose the last few weeks when they've gone on the streak. So I think he'll be good for at least this round as well, too. And if they go on to the next round, we'll see. I don't know if he's quite like the Damian Harris where he'll get stronger as they go, but I think he'll be effective regardless.
Yeah. No, he's a guy that's been involved in the pass game the last couple of weeks, too. So that's a big part of some of his success. So if he can continue to be involved in that, along with what he already does in the run game, it could be very successful.
Indeed. All right, well, listen, I'm going to give you guys a quick break because we've been at it for a minute, and I'll catch us up here in a second. Let's take a quick minute. We'll pay the bills, and let's listen to Dan Maynard talk about our balls.
Roses are red, violets are blue, but don't let a wild pube wreck you. Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and our sponsors at Manscaped are here for you with the best tools to get your balls ready for the special occasion. This V-Day, it's time to join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming, with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com and use the promo code BELLYUPFANTASY for 20% off and free shipping. The holidays went by so quickly. Did you remember to take care of your package with the best tools for the job? The Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped is just the thing every guy needs in their life to make each and every day just a little more special. The number one product in this package is the Lawnmower 4.0. This electric trimmer is designed to trim hair on loose skin. And get this, the trimmer's advanced skin-safe technology reduces cuts and nicks on your delicate balls. It even has a 4000K LED spotlight so you can shave anywhere your heart desires. Get 20% off and free shipping when you use the promo code BELLYUPFANTASY at manscaped.com today. Roses.
Listen, Dan Maynard, I appreciate you, bro, because you really know about balls. All right, let's talk about our other guys here that were selected while we're gone. Nicole Hardman was selected by the Hulks, and Tony Pollard, DJ brought him up earlier, he was this next selection by the Fanatics. Guys, what do you think of those picks?
I like the Tony Pollard one a little bit more than the Nicole Hardman one. And Nicole Hardman sometimes worries me because he just kind of disappears and you don't see him whatsoever. So that one's very boomer bust. I like Tony Pollard. I think he'll be effective as far as in the receiving game.
Man, you are a lot nicer than me. Nicole Hardman, I don't like at all. That is a ghost pick, really. It's like he'll show up for 2 or 3 plays. You don't even get return yards out of him anymore because Pringle's pretty much taking over the returning game. So at this point in time, hopefully he gets involved in the passing game, and against the Steelers, I don't think you're going to have a chance to get him involved in the passing game because you're going to be throwing up to Tyreek and Travis Kelsey the whole game.
I'm going to go my next selection. I will be finishing this round with Dawson Knox, the tight end from Buffalo. Again, betting on the long run, and that'll be my combo for Allen there would be my selection there at the end of the round. What do you guys think of Dawson Knox at the end of round 6?
I like him for the long run, like you mentioned as well, too. I think against New England, he'll be a little more spotty. I think he'll only give you maybe 3, 4, 5 points in this round. But moving on, I think he's going to be a weapon down the stretch. Him and Josh Allen got a nice rapport this year. So I like the pick here, especially considering how late we are into the draft to be able to get a guy like Dawson Knox after the season he had.
Yeah, no, I like Dawson Knox. I still think there's 1 or 2 guys out there that I maybe lean on a little bit more for wild card weekend, at least getting you points. But long term wise, Dawson Knox, it's going to definitely be worth the squeeze as long as they advance.
Well, I'm going to do you one better, and actually probably I'm going to go back-to-back tight ends for wild card weekend. I'm going to select Darren Waller with my next selection. Last time they played the Bengals, Darren Waller, if I don't have the stats in front of me, but 7 receptions, 100 and something yards, had a great day. Bengals struggle against the tight end. So if anyone's going to go off this weekend, I like Darren Waller at tight end. What do you guys think?
Finally. Yes. We've been subtly alluding to it all day for somebody to take Darren Waller. And the way Hunter Renfro in the passing game's been evolving when he was out, now with him coming back in, getting healthy, I think there'll be a lot of room for him.
I'm glad somebody finally picked Darren Waller. This has been driving me up the wall. I've been alluding to it for a couple rounds here, just waiting because he has been the number one guy in my mind that's just man, he is just sitting there waiting to reap the benefits.
Indeed. All right, next selection. Chase Edmonds selected from Craig. Pretty, again, Craig likes to reach. We know he's reaching here. I think again. What do you guys think?
I like James Conner a little bit more here, but this works.
Yeah. Like, will Chase Edmonds even play this week is my big question.
Right. I think the main thing, and if you're looking at this weekend, I talked about it on our show. I like James Conner a lot this weekend. If you want to talk about consistency, 4 touchdowns in the 2 games that they played this year. And it wasn't like 3 in one and 1 in the other. It was 2 in one and 2 in the other. So, I mean, you can't get any more consistent than that. We don't know what Chase Edmonds is going to present, even if he does play. How healthy is he? So, again, Captain Reach going again. All right, hold on real quick. We got our next selection in. What we got? Marvelous. Oh, Lord. Here we go. Jalen Hurts. God, you got to give me the rhymes every time. Jalen Hurts. The next selection, again, I just talked about it a minute ago with the rain offsetting this matchup. I like Jalen Hurts in this matchup to run all over the Bucs, just to be quite frank with you. What do you guys think?
I like it a lot for round 1, too. The Bucs run defense is basically there's nothing inside the tackle box to go. Well, Jalen Hurts is going to be running outside the tackle box, so he'll be able to find a little bit of room on that Bucs run defense. So I like the slide your round 1 quarterback, assuming you have a guy expected later on. Maybe I don't remember if he took Aaron Rodgers earlier, but if this is a guy that has Aaron Rodgers or Tannehill later, this is a good segue quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. This is against a team that likes to play a lot of man in the Bucs. So you get outside that offensive line and get away from those linebackers like Jalen Hurts can. Well, you're going to be running against a whole lot of air because they're not going to pay attention to you because they'll be running downfield with your receivers. So I do think there's a lot of opportunities for Jalen Hurts to put his feet in this one. His arm, maybe not so much.
All right, next selection. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. It kind of broke up. My bad. Tyler Higbee is the next selection. Tyler Higbee, the tight end from the Rams. What do you guys think of that selection?
If the Rams go all the way to the Super Bowl, this is a good pick because he'll get you steady points though along the way. But not bad at this point. I'll leave it that way. Not bad.
He wouldn't have been my number 1 tight end in this matchup. Well, let's put it that way. There's another one in that matchup that I like a little better. But Tyler Higbee has been coming on strong in his own receiving rates.
All right, the next selection is in while we're on break. I told him to hurry it the hell up because we're already in round. But it's Dalton Schultz is our next selection. And so what do you guys think of that selection?
That's one tight end I would have taken before Higbee. I think he's going to be very productive, whether it's one and done or not. I like Dalton Schultz a lot in round 1.
Yeah, look, a guy that's picked it up since Jarwin went down with injury. You even saw it once Jarwin's returned. Schultz is still carrying the load for the tight end position for Dak, and Dak loves to throw. So that's something to look at. They do run a couple different routes with Schultz compared to Jarwin, so maybe a little bit short of the end zone compared to in the end zone, but it's still pretty successful for Schultz nonetheless. The guy that worked himself into a top 10 tight end.
What's funny is in this same league, I was number 1 pick. Dalton Schultz was my Mr. Irrelevant last pick totally this year. And man, he paid off dividends for sure. So that was a good one for me for sure.
Yeah, he was my waiver wire after the draft.
All right, exactly. Because it was Blake Jarwin. That's all we heard in the offseason. You know? Blake. All right, the GOATs, is your selection in, sir? Deontay Johnson is the next selection. Again, gonna have to probably have some garbage time minutes today. That's for sure. So good selection for the first round, maybe perhaps. What do you guys think of Deontay?
He's not even the first receiver I'd want to take. That's going to be the one and done here in the first round. Expect like there's some better receivers out there, so I'm a little surprised with this one as well. Maybe you'll get the empty calorie yards, but
yeah, look, I think for the Steelers wise, this is probably your best option of getting points here because they love to run that 3 on one side, running and go, and then Deontay Johnson coming across on third downs, and he always picks up yardage on that. Somehow, everybody sees it coming, he still does it. But it's going to be good for the Steelers receivers that you had available. But for everybody else, I think there's plenty of receivers you could have picked.
Well, I think your wishes are about to come true on another Raider. Here is the selection at the end of round 7. It is Hunter Renfro off the board. I know you guys been clamoring for him. There he goes. He's off. And it looks like we got the back-to-back. What do we got on the next one? Zach Ertz, tight end from the Cardinals. A great selection there at tight end. Back-to-back good selections for Pete Metal Koza Art. Looks like I wrote it in the wrong space. What do you guys think of those two selections?
Brilliant. Really good back-to-back round 6 into round 7. Fantastic round 7 into round 8. Great job on the back-to-backs. Love both the picks here.
And it's one of those things, even if it's only down to, just getting you wild card points, they're going to be well worth it. Like Hunter Renfro, third and Renfro is a real thing. DJ mentioned when Waller was out, it was Hunter Renfro. That's exactly right. It's continued to be Hunter Renfro as the number 1 target. And then now you add in Zach Ertz in there as the next pick. Kyler Murray loves throwing to Zach Ertz, like with a passion loves throwing to Zach Ertz. I mentioned Tyler Higbee, not even the number 1 tight end in that matchup I would have taken. I would have taken Zach Ertz, even if it's just for 1 round. I mean, it's so much more favored for Zach Ertz to give you a lot of points than it would be.
I'll add on to it, too. Hunter Renfro is now scoring touchdowns the last few weeks on top of that, which makes his value even that much more impressive.
Yeah, my wife scooped up Renfro in a league, and man, that's all I would hear about all year. Oh, what am I about my Hunter Renfro selection? That's all. So, hey, babe, there's your props. All right, next selection is in the GOATs. Who you got? Cole Beasley, the unvaccinated Cole Beasley. I just wanted to throw that in there. Again, long run, but again, who knows with COVID what's going to happen with Cole Beasley. All right, what do you guys think of that selection?
Well, at least he took a shot, unlike Cole Beasley. So at least he took a shot on a player here, so I'll give him that.
But Ching, I gotta get a drum roll for that, bro. That was great.
That was DJ. I was waiting on your shot recommendation there, but
it's a weekly tradition.
Yeah, Cole Beasley, man. Okay, good enough, I guess. Better receiver still available, but it is what it is.
He said at least Mark took a shot, unlike Cole Beasley. All right, who's our next selection? We have the Jets. Who you got? What was that? I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Dallas Goddard on the next selection.
Talk about a guy who took a shot one time.
What do you guys think of that selection going into, again, talking about this matchup? It's going to be a pretty tight matchup. What do you guys think?
Oh, yeah, it's, talk about a guy who took a shot one time in Dallas Goddard, but last time I think he ever sets foot in South Dakota. But, and look, hey, it is what it is. Dallas Goddard, very good tight end right there.
I'm worried with Levante David and Devin White on the other side, how much room he'll be able to find, but maybe he can get some of the beneficiaries of Jalen Hurts scrambling out of the pocket.
The next breakers are in, and he is taking Jimmy G, the soap opera looking QB. I like to call Mr. Glass. Jimmy G actually had a decent year this year, though. I'm just gonna put Jimmy G because I can't figure out how to spell Garoppolo right now. Jimmy, again, decent season for him. Stayed in the fold to his credit. Didn't let Trey Lance take the job from him, which is pretty impressive. What do you guys think of the selection?
Hopefully that doesn't mean Trey Lance is terrible. Hopefully that's not why it didn't happen. But I think Jimmy G is a pretty solid pick here. I think especially if they advance, he'll have to play well.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be up to what he can do with the ball in his hands to beat the Cowboys. Let's not forget he took them to Super Bowl one time. It's completely possible to do it again.
Marvelous has his next selection. What would you like to select, sir? Oh, he reneged on his selection. See, he's the first guy on the camera, so as you're watching, the guy in the end is the one who called for the pick, and then he reneged it. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
Look at honestly, on his face too. He was just like, "Oh God, just don't look at the camera."
He's not a camera guy, I don't think. All right, what do we got? All right. He can't even pronounce it. Pat Fryermuth is the next selection. Don't know if he's heard of him all year, but again, we'll see again, if garbage time minutes do anything for him today. I don't expect much at all out of the Steelers, to be quite frank. But what do you guys think of the selection?
Same thing, maybe a garbage time touchdown since the Chiefs don't defend tight ends wonderfully, and Pat Fryermuth's been nice down the stretch. So maybe that at best.
Yeah, this is the number 2 option for Steelers getting points today. Najee Harris being number 1, Fryermuth being number 2. So look, you gotta pick somebody that's gonna get you points during Wild Card Weekend, and you're gonna have to sacrifice your tight ends eventually. So this is one that's it'll be good for this week, but not anything beyond that.
No, agreed. Again, I like what you're saying. They're going to have to throw to somebody. Again, this is going to be a tough matchup for them today, and garbage time minutes don't matter in fantasy, that's for sure. Craig is up next. I sure hope he has this selection because, man, I don't even have a sheet, and I can go faster than this. Craig, you got your next selection in, sir. Odell Beckham. I was definitely hoping he'd kind of wrap away around to me because I do like him at least this weekend a lot. What do you guys think of OBJ in this match? Well, I know you guys have probably a certain feeling towards OBJ, but what are your thoughts on him for this particular weekend?
He'll either be an absolute steal and help win you the league, or he'll end up pooping on you down the stretch. So we'll get very boomer bust, the epitome of boomer bust.
Yeah, look, he's always found a way since he's gotten to the Rams to find a big catch somewhere down the road for either a touchdown or like 60 yards. So it's not a bad opportunity for a big play situation. And this game might be decided by a big play. They got obviously Nuke on one side. Now you got to get somebody on the Rams side, and that's going to be probably OBJ.
All right, looks like I am up to end round 8. I am going to take James Conner, running back from Arizona. What do you guys think of James Conner to end round 8?
Surprised he's still here, honestly. As well,
James
too.
Conner is my name.
Surprised nobody wanted to take him earlier. Just the fact that he always all he does is score touchdowns. So this is quite the pick in round 8 as well, too. Especially even if it's a 1 week thing, that's a hell of a week.
Yeah, I mean we talked about with Chase Edmonds. Chase Edmonds, why is he even going to play? It's obviously James Conner type of situation in the backfield for the Cardinals. And even if Chase Edmonds plays, it's still James Conner when it comes to inside the 20s. I mean, you need a guy to get you a touchdown. James Conner's going to rattle his way home. So I like that a lot better than I like Chase Edmonds. That was for sure.
In my next selection to start off round 9, I am going to take Rashad Perryman, receiver for the Bucs. So going with the Bucs again, they're hurt at receiver. He's seen a lot of targets as of late. He's the vet. Obviously with Grayson not playing this week, we'll see a little bit more Perryman for sure. So I like him at least for this week. What do you guys think of that?
Underrated, really underrated pick. I completely forgot he still existed, honestly. So I think that could be a very good pick down the stretch. We saw he did against the Bills in a big game. So maybe he's a guy that could be surprising. I like the pick. They need help at receiver, and he might be the guy.
To be fair, I feel like everybody forgot he existed at one point in time, and especially once AB rolled in, and there was still an 84 on the roster, and everybody's like, "Who's that 84?" Oh, by the way, it's Rashad Perryman. He's still there, but we'll see what he's able to do. He is more than capable of filling. I mean, I can't even call him really a backup because he is a more than capable starter in pretty much every other team. So we'll see what he's able to do, but hopefully Tyler Johnson doesn't pull any passes away from him.
Indeed. All right, next selection is in for the Fanatics. Cedric Wilson, another receiver from Dallas. Like that selection a lot. He's been playing good as of late as well. What do you guys think of Cedric Wilson?
Not a bad pick. I think out of the number 3 receivers out there, probably not my top target that's still available, but I don't mind him. I think he's more down to can he catch the ball. That's how useful he can be. If he can catch the ball, then he'll get you a good 10 points. But if he can't catch the ball, you're looking at maybe 2 points in a game. So that's where we're going to do you well.
All right, the next selection is in. The Hulks have selected Jacoby Myers, receiver out of the New England Patriots. Jacoby Myers, what do you guys think of that selection?
It could be a good pick. I think he might randomly get you a lot of points if he ends up throwing a touchdown off one of those random trick plays Josh McDaniels likes to dial up with as a former quarterback. So I think he might end up giving you a passing touchdown, being a bit of a steal for round 1 or however long they play.
If this is one, if they can make it past this round, that's a bigger play down the road. I think this round is not so helpful for you with Jacoby Myers, but maybe down the road for sure.
Indeed. All right, neck breakers, what you got? Harrison Butker, the first kicker off the board in round 9. So say goodbye, Mr. Butker. We are running the kicker run now. So, and we got another selection in as I'm typing it in. What do we have from the Jets? And Buffalo's defense. So we're going special teams now here as the teams are starting to develop a bit. So Harrison Butker and Bills D, what do you guys think of those selections?
Like Butker a lot. Bills defense, I'm not 100% sure about just because they're really good, but sometimes they can get really shredded too. So I don't know if they'd be the first defense I'd take, but I like the Butker pick.
Yeah. Overall, defense-wise, love the Bills defense. Matchup-wise, don't love the Bills defense right now. Harrison Butker, though, not a bad pick. I think there's a couple more consistent kickers I maybe go with, but that might have more opportunity. But with that said, not a bad pick by any means.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised, to be honest, with the defense selected a little early here, only because in the particularly in these playoff, there's not going to be a lot of good matchups anyway. You're going to be playing good defenses, offenses, no matter what. But again, depends on the matchups. But you're going to see the Bills, face the Patriots today, possibly KC next week. Maybe even the Titans. Who knows? I mean, the way the seedings work. So we'll see. All right, so the GOATs, who do we got for your next selection, sir? Mark, you ready? So a little delay in round 9, as you can see. Starting to get a little deep. Who's that? Oh, Fursker? All right. Anthony Fursker is his selection. Tight end for the Titans. What do you guys think of that?
Could be a sneaky good pick. He just found a way to score touchdowns when A.J. Brown and Julio Jones have been banged up, and Derrick Henry as well. So I'm worried he might lose a little bit of burn with everyone getting healthy, though.
Bold strategy, God. Because if I'm not mistaken, doesn't he have 3 players not playing this week anyways already on his team? So now he's adding a 4th in first, which, if that's the case, why? I don't know. I have questions. About the strategy there, but we'll see.
All right, so we're waiting on Metal Kozar. He looks like it's coming in now. The selection. Who do you have for your next selection, sir? Julio Jones, receiver from the Tennessee Titans, is next selected. What do you guys think of that selection?
My only concern is if he's available. If he's available, I don't mind the pick here, but that hamstring's been killing him all year, so hopefully he's available.
Get this man in an isobaric chamber and keep A.J. Brown out of Chipotle, and you'll be good with the Titans receivers. So, not a bad pick, especially this late in the draft. Yeah, it's going to be a situation where you can probably reap the benefits of it next week as long as he's healthy.
Indeed. Yeah, sorry, we're having a little bit of connection issues being in here in the bar area. My bad. All right, Pete Koza, who you got? And he's going to go defense as well with Bucks defense here going off the board. What do you guys think of that selection?
I like it from round 1. I think they'll be able to not give up a lot of points against the Eagles, and maybe depending on who their matchups are later down the road. It's probably one of the better defenses you could pick at this point, so I don't mind it here.
Yeah, this is kind of like the Bills defense to me. It's love the defense as a whole. Maybe this matchup might be the one questionable one I have for it, just because of what Jalen Hurts can do with his feet versus this defense. But I do think if there's any defense that can overcome it, it will be the Bucs, and they can get you some takeaways at any given point in time.
All right, let's see who we got next. The next pick is in. Who we got? Case. Oh, they were going to make a definite defense run. KC is the next defense taken off the board. What do you guys think of KC's defense in the playoffs?
I like them more this round than I'm going to like them in future rounds. That's for sure. I like them in this round to do something positive, but down the stretch, I might be a little nervous with them.
Yeah, complete opposite for the other two defensive picks so far. Love the matchup for him this round. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Not so much future-wise, but for this round, this will be as ideal as it gets for that Kansas City defense.
Indeed, yeah, definitely good first-round matchups for sure for those two. But we talked about that's pretty much, there's not many good ones, although I might sneak one in here, hopefully, before it comes in. What I think, anyway, we'll see. All right, who we got up next? It looks like we got the Jets. You are up, my friend. Who you got? All right, we are doing a run. It is the Rams defense. It is definite defense. Rams D. I don't know if I like them in this matchup, but maybe possibly in another one. What do you guys think of Rams D?
Hopefully they can get you some takeaways with all those superstars. That's kind of what you're banking on with playoff defenses. So we'll see. You got to take a defense somewhere. You might as well get one that has a higher potential than some of the other ones too.
Yeah, strong defense. Can they somehow figure out a way to keep Kyler in the pocket? If they can keep Kyler in the pocket, then they can get those takeaways DJ mentioned. But we'll see what they're able to do against Kyler in that pass rush first. You think Aaron Donald, Von Miller sounds pretty good. Hasn't been very good all season.
144 combined points. I'll say it again. I'm not even touching that one. All right. I think he already selected, though, earlier, if I remember right. I got to get something set up so we can see everyone's stuff. But he had Bills D also. So he's got something for this round if he wants to do it. All right. Next selection is in. Ryan Suckup is in for the next selection. So we got, that's two kickers, right? Correct? Yep. Okay. Gotcha. Two kickers. Ryan Suckup taken off the board. Guys, what do you think of that selection? He went back-to-back kickers. What do you guys think of that?
I'm surprised he went back-to-back kickers. I'll start with that as well, too. I mean, I don't hate either one of them, but I don't like having both of them now. That's a lot of eggs in a very weird-looking basket.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you have two kickers on a team ever at any point in time. I mean, that's something I can stream pretty easily normally, and then in the playoffs. I don't hate either kicker, but I do think there's still a more consistent kicker that's going to get more opportunities still available.
It's a definite different strategy for sure, but think of it in this terms, like he's Xing out two teams that might go far and then leaving you without a kicker. So, again, a different strategy, but could work. All right, Marvelous is the next selection. Who we got, Mr. Marvelous? Chase Claypool. I think you were talking about, someone mentioned him earlier, or maybe alluding to him earlier. Chase Claypool taken off the board. What do you guys think of this selection?
As long as you don't have to get a first down with him in the final minute of the game and no timeouts, it's not a bad pick. Maybe he can score you some garbage time touchdowns or something like that. As long as general awareness isn't a requirement for fantasy points, I think it could be a good pick.
You beat me to it. I mean, it's as long as you're not trying to waste time and you're trying, you'll be fine. Perfect pick though.
He stole your line, bro. He stole your line. All right, Fanatics is in. What you got? Packers defense. Expecting a possible what if the Eagles do upset the Bucs. Could be a good matchup going into their first next week, possibly bringing the Eagles into Lambeau Field. So, again, not a bad selection if it plays that way. Since everyone's going on a defense run, let me go ahead and take one. I'm going to go Bengals D. I think that's pretty much the only one left with a decent amount of matchups that I could find here, because really left it's Titans or 49ers right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw a defense in there. Hopefully, it's been a good defense all year. Last time they played the Raiders, in fact, it was 2 forced fumbles, 1 interception, and 2 sacks, I believe. Ended up with 12 fantasy points overall, so a decent day If they repeats, hey, I got a good first round. We'll see. All right, let's go back to back. So I'm not wasting any more time. We're going to look again for more deep run kind of stuff. Teams that I think have favorable stuff that later on. I'm looking at, I like the Cardinals. Do I go with the young guy or go with there's two guys I like in particular this weekend. I like somebody. All right, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look forward actually more in the running back position. Let's go with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I know he's hurt now, but if he does end up coming back, he could be the main focal point again in a team that could have a deep run. So I'm going to go. Someone there. Oh, sorry. Thank you. I didn't know. I'm not writing anything down. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. So apparently we have to. There's a certain roster. So my bad. So I gotta do 2 quarterbacks. I need 1 quarterback, 2 kickers, 2 defenses. That's why we're going back to back. So now I'm getting it. All right, here we go. All right, so let's go back to back then. I will then take Titans D. I'll just go back to back with defenses. Titans D. That way I have somebody else maybe later on if the Bengals are not selected. See, I'm going into this draft and I didn't even know the damn rules. Don't be that guy, all right? Yeah, back to back Bengals, then Titans. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that, Mark. I heard you say that, but it wasn't quite computing what you were saying. All right. So we have a set roster in here, so I'm only allowed to take a certain amount. So usually when I do a regular fantasy draft, like kicker is the last thing I ever take because I don't care. I'll just, whoever's available that week. And actually tight end too, like as you heard me say earlier, I usually just wait on the tight end position because there's always somebody you're going to find. You can clock in. Look, again, we talked about him. I had Gesicki, too, in another league late. He had a decent season this year. Not only I had faith in him. So
Craig took Tyler Bass.
Craig is taking Tyler Bass, kicker from Buffalo. So I guess, now we're now we're getting to the
waiting to be taken at this point in time.
Yeah, again, deep run, a team that puts up a lot of points, definite good kicker to have going for the playoffs. All right, next selection, Marvelous. Who we got? 49ers defense. All right. Not a great matchup, but at this point, what else do you need? What do you guys think of that matchup?
Hopefully Nick Bosa goes absolutely ballistic to make that worthwhile and is harassing Dak Prescott the whole time, or Tyron Smith is getting 17 false starts so that they get the start in first out of 25. So it's iffy, but you got to take defense. So that one has a high potential upside.
Yeah, if they can get, this is one is if they get out of this round, that's a fantastic pick. This round though, this matchup versus the Cowboys, I don't like really any of that.
All right, let's look at. Looks like we had the war room. Look like it went out over there. Let's take that out till they come back. All right. All right. Next is who else we got next? We got the Neck Breakers. He's up next. Still contemplating his pick, however. As again, now that I know that the rosters are kind of on a set lock, I'll have to look forward. I don't even know if there is a backup. I don't have a list for myself, so I don't even know what backup QB I might get. But somebody I'm thinking actually going forward, I could look at the next round. Somebody like Trey Lance. What if something happens in the game? 49ers pull the upset. Trey Lance comes in. I got a nice stud I could throw in there if that's possible. So let's see.
I almost don't want to help out your draft options here, but I could give you a great quarterback to take right now.
All right, that's good. Wait till I'm around. I'll take it. You know what? Because I don't have a list. It's not really fair for me anyway. So anyway, all right, we got Patriots defense on the next selection. So the Jets will be up next. Patriots D. Today might not be a bad day if the elements come out. Might be we know they've been solid all year. What do you guys think of the Patriots D?
Pretty much sums it up. Yeah, Josh Allen is sometimes a little reckless. He might throw you a few, so maybe the Patriots will catch him.
It doesn't matter how bright red those freaking sleeves from Matthew Judon are. He will always get a sack, at least one sack for you. So who knows? He might get a sack fumble, might get a sack fumble return. You never know.
The next selection is in for the Jets. He has selected Cam Akers, running back for the Rams. Going way late, a little sneaky. Could be a good sneaky play. What do you guys think of Cam Akers?
If he is somehow able to play on that recently destroyed Achilles, then that could be quite the pick. I think if they go on a run, he could be a weapon down the stretch.
Yeah, this is one you're definitely stashing for later in the playoff run if they can make a playoff run like that. For sure. This is a good pickup by all means. Just, we'll see what type of performance he can put on, if he can even play down the stretch, like down the road for the Rams.
When I had my doctor on the show, man, he literally was just going on and on, marveling about Cam Akers. I mean, this is nothing short than a medical miracle for him to be on. Not even just to be, even practicing, but legit gonna play football, cutting and doing what he's doing. It's legit. So it's kind of scary too. I mean, don't rush yourself out there and find yourself back at square one either. All right, we got our next selection in. That is from the GOATs. Who we got? Robbie Gold, a kicker. They're doing their Niner homer thing as we get down the stretch here. Robbie Gold selected here late. Guys, I mean, I don't know how much we can do analysis on kickers, but what do you guys think of the pick?
Not bad. I think the best kicker in the playoffs is still sitting out there, though, at least in my humble opinion. I think it's the best kicker fantasy-wise is still sitting out there. So,
yeah, you still got three kickers out there that are honestly
– might be coming in right now. Mason Crosby is the next selection. I don't think he was –
Crosby either.
I was going to say, I don't think that was the guy you were thinking, but has been kind of struggling a little bit this season, Mason. But hey, but somebody you can have late
made at this point in time.
I mean, maybe if they play the Cowboys, I'll trust him considering what he's done in the playoffs in those ones. That's about it.
Indeed. All right. Well, here's what I think you were trying to tell me earlier. The next selection, Derek Carr, the quarterback for. Yeah, I knew. I was like, oh, this is where he was going. Likes Derek Carr a lot. Talk about Derek Carr, Kelsey.
Look, you talk about this Bengals matchup. It's like this Bengals-Raiders matchup is by far the most dead even out of all of them. And Derek Carr, what he's been able to do with the lack of weapons he has, like, let's be honest, Zay Jones, where has Zay Jones ever been a weapon until Oakland? Never. Bryan Edwards, okay. Now he has Hunter Renfro that he's been lighting it up with, and Darren Waller, who is a fantastic tight end receiver. I think Derek Carr has the best opportunity to upset anybody this week, and it wouldn't surprise me if they do upset, if they make a run.
Indeed. All right. Also, while we were on break, Matt Gay was selected. That was the one I was aiming for him. So I was just waiting. I didn't want to say anything out loud. I'm like, maybe he'll sneak around over to me. Jets, the next selection. What do you got, brother?
There's still two quality kickers out there.
Evan McPherson, the next selection by the – yes, good selection there by the Jets.
As long as they don't always got Packers, we're fine.
This guy, the Jets, man, I got to tell you, every season this guy, it's always some – I think a couple years ago it was Keenan Cole he beat me with. This year, I don't know who it was, somebody out of nowhere. I'm like, why does this guy always select people that you would never expect and they go off on me every time? It's insane.
Was it Laviska Shenault by any chance?
Yes, it's it. Clyde, what was it? I'm sorry?
Edward.
Didn't I already take him? Oh, that's right. Okay, that's right. I forgot. That's my bad. I don't have a sheet, bro. I'm like trying to remember everything. All right. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire was finally taken off the board there. So say goodbye to him, unfortunately for me. What do you guys think of the selection?
Long-term could be a nice sneaky pick because eventually teams are going to take away Tyreek Hill over the top, and maybe he'll be your check down guy. So it could be a nice one down the stretch if he's able to get healthy.
Yeah. Expected he's going to be healthy. It just depends on how soon they're willing to put him out there and how much he can take that workload on. Look, last time he was coming off of an injury, I was absolutely fantastic. So I expect a little bit of the same performance from him in these playoffs.
Indeed. All right, next selection's in. What was it? Matt Prater? Prater? Matt Prater, next selection. Or if you want to call him Prater, I mean, apparently that's a new thing that we call Matt Prater around here. Prater. Would you have any gray Prater? Would you mind?
I won't pretend that Prater was not a pretty solid pick here, so I think that could be a pretty good one.
Yeah.
All right, next selection in. What was that? Greg Zerline's the next selection. Is it who was that? Was that Marvell or that was? Oh, so it's my turn. Look at that. Now it's getting crazy where I'm like, okay, here we go. Okay, 2 kickers and a quarterback. All right, so let me go ahead and I'll take. I will. Am I gonna do it just for old sentimental sake? All right, where's the kickers at? Let's go with kicker. I'll go with the first one. Let's go with Nick Folk as my first kicker. And then I'll take Randy Bullock for the late playoff run because I'm not sure if the Patriots are going to last very, very long. Why are you looking at me, Kelsey? Who do you think I should be taking at the kicker? Tell me.
The kicker leading the league in game-winning field goal kicks this season, and Dan Carlson.
I feel you. The only thing is, again, how long is he lasting? That's my concern. I feel you. Nick Folk's the same way, though. You're right. You know what?
Randy
now that
Bullock
you said
is
it,
lasting that long too. Come on.
Well, they're the Titans, though. You know, they got number 1 seed for a reason, so it's possible they could make a late run.
That makes sense. I mean, you guaranteed have a kicker for the next round, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
at least I have one. I have one for this one for the next.
I think in the wild card kickers, though, I think Dan Carlson is the guy that
I should have consulted. My bad. You're right, though. Now that I'm thinking about it, you're right. Who do you got there, Craig? Cowboys D. Cowboys D off the board. The Cowboys off the board. I mean, one of the more opportunistic defenses in a matchup this week with a guy who loves to give up the ball. So I like the Cowboys a lot. What do you guys think?
Kind of same thing as that. I like their opportunities here to get takeaways. I don't know if they'll stop the Niners, but they'll get points from takeaways, which I think could help them, which will help them a lot.
Yeah, as long as Trayvon Diggs cannot give up a ton of yards to Devo Samuel over the top, they have a chance. But yeah, the Dallas defense is opportunistic, but they do have their holes.
Indeed. All right. Now, at this point, I mean, there's no point in us analyzing the rest. This is just kickers and stuff, so I'm not going to sit here and bore us out. But I can bring it up as we go. But since I got you on and we're making this into the show anyway, give me your picks for this week since you're on here. Let me hear you guys what you think of Wild Card Weekend, who you guys like this week.
DJ, let's go first.
Okay, well, we'll start off with the very first matchup. We got the Raiders taking on the Bengals. I'm the weirdo, and I actually think the Raiders have a chance to pull this one off because both teams are on incredible droughts. The Bengals are incredibly young, and I think if it stays close, the Raiders will find a way to win it. Though I think the Bengals' only chance is that they flood them because the Raiders have been absolute mavericks at winning close games. So give me the Raiders in the first one. I think they somehow end their playoff drought today because Derek Carr makes a game-winning drive down the stretch.
Wow.
Look, I think this is a 50-50 matchup, and I think DJ is right. If it's not going to be a wash, I think the Raiders have an opportunity. However, I do think this is a wash, and I do think the Bengals will pull this one out. But I'm just keeping the odds open, though, that the Raiders could make a run at this one. But the Bengals are my choice.
Everyone on our set, just so you know, went Bengals there, if I'm pulling up the right graphic there. So we all go Bengals in this matchup. So, unfortunately, I didn't make one for you, DJ, but I can play one of the fellas. You, sir, are lone wolf for this matchup. All right. I'll make one for you next time. All right. Who we got in your next matchup?
Let's go ahead.
All right, so Bills-Patriots. I don't think I'm alone in this one by thinking the Bills have the best opportunity to pull this one out. I love Josh Allen. I love everything the Bills can do defensively, so I think they walk away with this one pretty easily.
I'm probably going to agree with Alam. I think the Bills walk with it. I think it's close. I think it's kind of ugly, but I think that Josh Allen, he somehow has a weird way of being good against the Patriots. I think he's going to do a lot of checkdowns and piss off Bill Belichick, too, and it'll be a close one.
Yeah, I see them going off. We all agree. Everyone on the set agree with you as well. We're all going Bills in that matchup, so definitely agree with you there. All right, what do you got on the next one?
Cool. Looking at our next matchup, we got the Buccaneers taking on the Eagles, and I don't got a whole lot to say about this one other than Buccaneers over Eagles. I think it's just a mismatch. It's close, but I think the Eagles keep the score closer than it should be.
I think Jalen Hurts' legs will keep it close, but I think at the end of the day, Buccaneers, there's too much strength on defense, too much strength on offense that Tom Brady might make his few mistakes, but it's going to be too much for the Bucs or too much for the Eagles to overcome at the end of the day. Bucs will win this one for sure.
So this is the only upset I have this weekend, and also Flanders agrees with me. Again, the weather to me makes this. Again, it eliminates some things in this matchup. I do like the Eagles in this particular matchup. So does Flanders in this game as well. So I do like it. All right, looks like we lost DJ there. He's like, all right, I got to go.
yeah, I guess so. It's like, all right, well, on that note, I'm out of here. All right, bye, DJ.
It's like, I had enough. I already told you. I don't got much to say in this matchup. I'm out. All right, let's go. We'll go to the 49ers and Cowboys. Who you like in that matchup?
Yeah, so I got the Cowboys in this one. I just think at the end of the day, the Cowboys are a little too strong. We mentioned the opportunistic defense, and I can actually give. Oh, there's DJ. He's back. So, but I do think the Cowboys will pull this one off over the Niners, in my opinion. But it'll be close.
All right, so we're going over 49ers Cowboys. Sorry, DJ. Throw you in there. What do you think of this matchup?
You know what? Give me the 49ers in this one. I think it's going to be really close. I think the Cowboys are going to make sure it's close, but I think the 49ers have a really, really deep roster that's coming together at the right time. And I think Jimmy G will be sure not to throw 7 passes directly at Trayvon Diggs' hands to keep it kind of close.
Yeah, indeed. All right, yeah, we got a lone wolf in this one too. We got Flanders. I think he's just an Eagles fan. He kind of just went with his hearts and his picks. That's why he went 49ers in this matchup. I don't want to sit here and make it any more than what it is. All right, next matchup. Who do you guys like? Steelers, Chiefs.
That's Chiefs. That's all. I don't have a whole lot. That's about all.
I've already said the Chiefs are on bye week number 2 for the AFC this week. So yeah, give me the Chiefs.
Indeed. And again, the homer. Once again, the lone wolf this week. He, in fact, changed. We did a bracket, and as I was talking about the brackets, he actually changed it and said he's got the Steelers going all the way to the Super Bowl, having the swan song for Mr. Ben. All right, who you guys like?
Much Iron City Light up there in Steel City.
Yeah, he's a little cuckoo. All right, last matchup, guys. Cardinals and Rams. To me, this is the best one of the weekend. What do you guys like in this matchup?
I like the Rams. I think it's a good competitive matchup like they always are. I think the Rams have a little bit too deep of a roster, and the Cardinals have been kind of floundering the last few weeks. They did have that big win over the Cowboys that kind of saved them a little bit, but they've been struggling. I think the Rams they're warm enough at the right time. This will help them catch a little bit of fire.
I'm glad Rodney Hudson's back for the Cardinals, but he's still not enough to help protect against this pass rush for the Rams. I think Leonard Floyd's been coming on strong lately as well. And I think that Rams defense is finally we're going to finally see why they brought in Von Miller. We're going to see Kyler Murray a little bit demonstrative as well. He's been showing a little bit of spurts of it during the season, and they've been losing when he does it. Wouldn't surprise me. Again, Von Miller gets to him one too many times, and see Kyler Murray kind of go off on his offensive line, and there goes the Cardinals' hopes. So give me the Rams in this one as well.
Yeah, this is going to, both the games were just back-to-back points. That's why I said it's whoever's got the ball last, and I just think, it's going to be the Rams. Just out of a guess, I think the Cardinals definitely have a shot at this game as well. I like anybody. If you got DFS, I brought him up earlier, AJ Green, I brought him up in the other show. Very consistent. I love this matchup for DFS. So if you're going to play anyone, find some good finds in this particular one. DJ, my friend. All right, real quick, before we head out, I did do a fantasy feud last night for Wild Card Weekend. So I found some fun little stats. We're not gonna play the feud, but I just wanted to see if you knew these because you're the trivia knowledge king, and I know you weren't even prepared. So I wanted to see. Can you give me? Here's the first question. I got 2 questions for you. First question: can you give me the name of the running back who holds the or the record for a rushing yards in a wild card game? The running back
with the rushing yards in wild card week. That's ooh. Hold on a second. I'm trying to rack my brain on this one because is it relatively recent? Can you give me what decade it happened in?
It's in the thousands, but in the earlier thousands.
Damn. Man. I'm going to say Jim Brown. I'm just going to go with a really, really old one that I can think of.
No, Jim Brown was actually Lamar freaking Smith from the Dolphins. Believe it or not, he actually had it in 2003, I think it was. It was 206 yards. I know, crazy enough.
Oh, 2000. I thought you said early thousands, so I was thinking like 1950 or something like that. Oh, way back.
It's like, you could have gotten DJ this way. You could have just said it was against the Colts, and they would have narrowed this down to.
Well, here's
in 2000.
All right. Here's another one. All right. So there are three. All right. On the top, there's. My bad. I got my question all mixed up because it's you. I had it worded another way, but there are. All right. Out of the top 5 receivers. And who have gotten receiving yard, excuse me, I got this all mixed up. All-time receiving yards, not just one single game, throughout wild card weekend, right? So all-time receiving yards, we have our top 5. In that top 5, 3 of them belong to the same team. Can you name the team?
49ers.
Wrong. It is the Indianapolis Colts. I thought you would know that one. That was, and it was Reggie Wayne, T.Y. Hilton, and Marvin Harrison, all in the top 5 for receiving yards.
You know what? That makes sense, actually. I remember T.Y. did it against the Chiefs, and I think Marvin Harrison did it against the Broncos. The Reggie Wayne one kind of surprised me because Peyton Manning and them had those number 1 or 2 seats for so many damn years. I forgot they played that many wild card games to get that.
Well, I know I finished my show strong when I stumped DJ. That makes me feel. Now I feel like I got a victory there. Guys, I appreciate you doing this with me. Again, guys, if you're watching and, had some fun watching this is something we might introduce into next season. So if you have a fantasy draft, this is something we might offer up as a service. I think this would be something fun for us to do. And again, if you want to take the realism into your fantasy drafts, why not bring an ESPN style coverage to it? Just makes it all that more fun. We enjoyed it. I hope you did. All right, guys, we appreciate you. Let everyone know where we can find you.
Your autograph?
Oh boy. So excuse all my aspiring fans back here. Let everyone know where they can find all your great stuff at.
Yeah, so where you can find us on Twitter at @high_low_sports, on Instagram at @high_low_sports. We're also on YouTube at @high_low_sports. We go live every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern time on Tiki Live as well, so you catch our brand new episodes there. Or the next day, we'll be live on the brand new Burns Radio at the end of the month. That'll be coming back up. That's the brand new Belly Up Unhinged Radio Network. Cannot wait for that to get started back up again. And that'll be every Thursday at 5 p.m. We'll be going live. And beyond that, you can catch us on every platform you got available. Just search High Low Sports and you can check us out there. But other than that, DJ, you got anything else to add?
Nope, that's about it. You can catch us on Colorcast quite frequently as well, too. So if you haven't downloaded the app, give it a download. You can have a whole lot of fun on that one and maybe check in with us during one of these wild card weekend games.
Yeah, indeed. Love listening to you guys do that. So please check them out. Download Colorcast because you can interact with us live, too. So that's always a fun aspect. I forgot to even set that up today, so that was my bad. But, again, it's fun having that interaction live, answer questions live. So make sure you guys download that, check our boys out because they do a great job on the play-by-plays. In fact, I had to run out to the store the other day when I forgot what game it was, and I'm like, damn, I don't have it. I was like, let me just put on boys on Colorcast while I'm driving, so I listen to you guys while I was going to the store. So I do appreciate you guys. Again, we appreciate you guys for listening today. Hope you enjoyed it, and we are out.
We're on a mission.